Hey, Rock2011 here, John Stone, here recording for Southeast Texas Gaming. I'm going to be recording a cube draft today, and starting off with this pack. Nothing too exciting. I think we're just going to take the Grizzle brand. It's the most powerful card in the pack, and maybe look to do some reanimator shenanigans. Other than that, I could see taking the Misty Rainforest. The Catastrophe will probably wheel. So I think this is the best card in the pack by quite a bit. So we're just going to take this and move on. So we're doing a Swiss draft today. Most of the reason for that is because Cube is just a fun format. You're not going to grind Moto Cube drafts and get value off of Moto Cube drafts. So I just want to play 3 rounds, record 3 rounds for you guys, and hopefully have a pretty sweet deck that has a lot of really cool interactions. And just introduce some people who haven't been playing Cube to the format. Now, this pack is interesting. It's got some ramp cards, Arbor Elf, Mystic Snake's a pretty cool card, but I don't think in the deck that we're looking to do. Here, I could take another Reanimator Fatty in Woodfall Primus. I could take Winter Orb, which is just a really annoying prison card, or I could take Jace, Architect of Thought. And I'm leaning toward taking Winter Orb and making kind of a control deck that way. This card's just really powerful, and we don't need too many fatties to reanimate. We're looking for reanimation spells right now. We do have a Grizzle brand, which is the best reanimation target, or one of the best reanimation targets, maybe with like Shieldred. So we're just gonna take Winter Orb. Let's see, Una's Prowler, Makeshift Mannequin, Restoration Angel, Marsh Flats. I could see taking all of these cards to some extent. So just kind of, what do we want? Una's Prowler is a discard outlet, so you can get your cards in the graveyard to reanimate them. Makeshift Mannequin is kind of a iffy reanimation spell. Basically, it comes back with the illusion thing, where if it becomes a target, you sacrifice it. I think this will probably wheel out of this pack, which leaves us with the Marsh Flats or the Una's Prowler. And I think I'm going to take the Marsh Flats here, just because fixing is very important. Okay, Hymn to Turok is a very powerful card if we end up in black, and we probably will end up in black because we want to go Reanimator. Solicitation is very solid, and Wasteland is really good. So, out of this pack, I think we're just going to take Hymn to Turok. And hopefully we start seeing some reanimation cards. But if we don't, we'll kind of go in a mono black control, which isn't really a great deck, but it's fine. Basalt Monolith is a pretty good card. It ramps you. It just does a lot of things you want. So I think Basalt Monolith's the pretty easy pick here. So we'll just take that. Verdant Catacombs and Sinkhole. Those are both very powerful cards. Remand's fine, but it's more of a combo deck card because it only kind of bounces. It's a tempo play. It's not a actual. It's a 1-for-1 because you draw a card, but it's not the best counter spell. And we're obviously going to be. It's looking like we're going to be heavy black. So I think Sinkhole and Hymn to Turok, and just play an interesting deck and snuff out goes fine in with that plan. Hopefully we start seeing some reanimation. If not, we're just going to play a really interesting control deck. So Gatekeeper kind of fits in with that. Okay, the first time I saw Phyrexian Obliterator, I wasn't very impressed with it because I didn't really want to be mono black, but right now it's looking like we're going to be playing a lot of swamps and black sources, so we're going to go ahead and put it in the deck. And that being said, I think Fetid Heath is a fine spell because it lets us kind of convert white into it basically gives us a splash versus all these colors don't really do much. So we can splash white for pretty much free now that we have a March Flats and a Fetid Heath. And we'll go ahead and take this makeshift mannequin. And hope that nobody else is on our reanimator plan, because it could get a little awkward. But we only have Gristlebrand, and if we can start getting a little bit of ramp to Gristlebrand, then that's fine too. Then I'll gladly take this Wasteland and just kind of cement myself in the role of the griefer mono black deck. And Persecute's a fine sideboard card. It'd be really good against us, so we'll just take that. Here I'm going to take the Lightning Mauler. It's a pretty good sign that nobody's gone mono red. So I don't usually like playing mono black in Cube. It's thought to be a pretty bad archetype, but just the strongest cards that we've been seeing have been black, so it's kind of pushed us down that road. I'm fine taking another color, branching into green for some like survival of the fittest type stuff, things like that. I'm more than happy. Fauna Shaman here, a Thoughtseize, Underground Sea, and we have another fetch land. I think what we're going to do here, Fauna Shaman's pretty strong, but I think we're just going to take Thoughtseize, because Thoughtseize is a really powerful card, and it kind of keeps us going down this path. There's Exhume. Exhume is really solid. We wouldn't mind wheeling this Attrition or Bone Shredder. Either one of those, fine. Forbid's a good card. And the Sunken Ruins, or Ravages, were also really good card that I like to play. But Exhume's kind of what we want to be doing. We need some discard outlets for Grizzlebrand, and just kind of some different things. We wouldn't mind getting like Exhume, or is that Entomb, not Exhume, Entomb. We just got Exhume. And Bitter Blossom. Or Warren Powerstone, Coalition Relic. I think we're going to take the Bitter Blossom. Bitter Blossom. So, Suicide Black. Let's see. Damnation's a fine card. We could also splash this Face Fetters, but I think I'm just going to take this Damnation. And over that, wheel that maybe. That wouldn't be too bad. Living Death also probably wouldn't be the worst. Just take the Damnation. So, got some land disruption, some hand disruption, some kill your dudes. Pretty much typical black. I don't know. This guy's fine. He's an early drop that kind of does stuff. I don't think we're running enough white to really support this. I think, yeah, we just kind of have to take him. Animate Dead and Entomb. Wow. We're going to take the Animate Dead here, because once you have the Animate Dead, the Entomb gets a lot better. And hopefully we wheel one of these cards. But yeah, just take the Animate Dead. Although both of those cards are really solid. We could start getting some more fatties now. And discard outlets. I mean, we can still Thoughtseize ourselves. I don't think we want to him to Turok herself. That plan's really sketchy. But Silent Spectre, Char, Curse Scroll. This isn't terrible. I guess we'll take this. The Reflecting Pool doesn't seem like it's going to do much in a mono black deck. Curse Scroll is fine. It's not really what we want to be doing. So yeah, we'll just take Silent Spectre. And Revoker Hypnotic Spectre. I think I'll take the Hypnotic Spectre. Why not? So yeah, it's completely obvious nobody's in mono red. And here, I'm gonna take the Relentless Rats and the Bone Shredder here. Probably not play it, but it's just got more upside. So this deck could definitely be worse. We have a lot of removal, just, you know, a lot of stuff like basically a mono black deck, because that's what we are. And we kind of have a little bit of this reanimation theme, so I could definitely see good stuff out of this deck. Sangromancy, which is really mediocre, or all is dust, which is terrible for us, so just take Sangromancy. Probably not look to play it. The good thing is about playing mono black is you don't have to take lands. Living Death is fine. So we're going to be looking to cut cards in pack 3. I don't know how much we want to play Basalt Monolith since of all our black commitments. We're not really ramping a lot of these. Just Grief for 2 drops. We'll take the Broodmate Dragon and look to maybe reanimate it. Goblin Welder does a little bit. Wow, last pick Hell Rider. Well, maybe should have gone mono red if we're getting last pick Hell Riders and 8th pick Goblin Guides, but hopefully this works out. Recurring Nightmare is an excellent card, and we will be happy to take it. And like I said, right now we're just looking for some kind of discard outlets, and to just get some stuff in our graveyard so we can start bringing it back. That Entomb didn't wheel, which means somebody's got an Entomb with like no reanimation spells, unless maybe they have actual reanimate. But we would like to get cards like Shieldred, Mere Battlesphere. Hey look, there's an Emrakul. Emrakul. Do we want Emrakul? Right now, our plan for Emrakul is get up to 15 mana and cast him, which seems sketchy. Iona's much better at being a reanimation target. Doomblade and Diabolic Servitude are just not that interesting, so take Iona. And probably not play Iona, but ooh. That's awesome. We love Liliana of the Veil in this deck. It's a discard outlet and just an amazing planeswalker, so we'll snap Liliana over Kozilek. And it kind of hurts to pass 2 Eldrazi in a row, because the past couple decks I've had have had Kozilek in them and have been able to cast him very easily. So he's a little buddy of mine. But right now we're playing mono black, which, to be honest, whenever I go into Cube, that's one of the archetypes I usually want to avoid. But hopefully with this reanimation sub theme and powerful cards, we'll be able to get there with it. Let's see, we hear 2 playables from this being our deck. Winter Orb is pretty strong with the reanimation sub-theme. Do we want... Man, I think we have a pretty free white splash, and Balance is a card. Upheaval is also really a card. But with the Fetid Heath and the Marsh Flats, and hopefully we can wheel the Scrubland, Balance is insane. Gifts Ungivens, pretty sweet. Blood Gift Demon, I guess, is just going to be our pick here. It's a little boring, but keeps us on kind of play, and it's, you know, a little 5/4 Phyrexian Arena. So we definitely have some powerful cards. We just basically just see how our matchups go. So, like the Wasteland, like the Sinkhole. Crucible of Worlds, you say? Crucible Worlds of the Worlds or Bane of the Living. Or I guess we could do Mesmeric Fiend, but it's not that great. Crucible, Wasteland, and I have Marsh Flats. That's probably not good enough. We're just gonna take Bane of the Living. And there's Reanimate. And I don't have a Tinker. Otherwise, I do love this card. But we have a bunch of reanimation spells, so we just need fatties. And I'm probably not above reanimating a Phyrexian Obliterator. So, need discard outlets other than Liliana of the Veil and Thoughtseize. Well, we're actually probably doing pretty good. It's worse to be. It's worse. There's worse things than being a mono black deck splashing for Balance. Should be an interesting dynamic. We'll just have to see how things go. So we'll go ahead and hide these and start kind of working on cuts to the deck. Living Death doesn't seem like a very good card in this deck, unless we have a lot of little dudes trading off, which I don't really see. These cards, I have a lot of like Land Grief and just hand attack. Let's see, Dark Confidant in this deck. I do have Grizzlebrand. Dark Confidant is terrible with Grizzlebrand, but I do have a lot of 2-drops, and I'm not playing either of these cards, so I'm going to take it. I'm not going to play it, but it definitely had the most upside I saw there, and here Tectonic Edge is fine. So, looking for basically one more cut. One more cut. Probably Basalt Monolith. We're not really ramping that well. Hello. Basalt Monolith, well, it's not really that great with Winter Orb. If it was a Thran Dynamo, it would be good with Winter Orb. Maybe just cut Winter Orb. But Doomblade, it's fine. I don't think I want to cut Winter Orb. That might be a mistake, but it's kind of one of the cards that I really enjoy playing with. We might cut, actually, Makeshift Mannequin. Seems like an easy cut. And we'll take the Duress for the sideboard. And the Vess, which is probably really good in this deck. So, Gifts Ungiven. The card's insane. Unfortunately, we don't have a Burial Rites, or I would maybe look to splash it, although that would make the mana terrible. Speaking of make the mana terrible, I don't think we're going to be able to play balance. So we'll cut balance. And let's see. Duress is sideboard. Sure. I'd rather not play you. I'd rather not play you. I don't think I can play you. 3. Bone Shredder. Snuff Out, which is really free. Bane of the Living. Damnation. Obliterator, Blood Gift, Demon, Lilianaves, Silent Spectre, and somewhere over here, Grizzlebrand. So basically looking to add one more card to this deck. And, well, I guess these don't really. So, Ravenous Rats. You know, we're going to play Winter Orb. So, Winter Orb, we're going to go ahead and play this Wasteland, Tectonic Edge. Alright, we're going to sideboard Tectonic Edge. We're going to play Wasteland, though. And we're going to play Marsh Flats. And add 15 Swamps. And call it a deck. So that's the deck. Hopefully we get some good games with it. We'll see how it goes. Let me know in the comments if Cube Draft is something you guys like to see. Hopefully we get some interesting matches out of it anyway. But I'll see you guys in round 1.